The box was velvet, midnight blue, delicate to the touch. It fit perfectly in the center of my trembling hands as I stepped out of the cab and into the cool autumn wind. My shoes crunched the dry leaves on the sidewalk, and the late afternoon sun threw long golden slashes across the porch. My heart was loud in my ears, louder than the creaking of the old wooden steps as I climbed toward the front door. Her birthday banner still flapped above the entrance, bright pink letters, cheerful, handmade by someone else. The party had already started. I was late, but I had taken my time on purpose, rehearsing my words in the rear-view mirror of the cab, touching the ribbon on the box as if to make sure it was still there, still real. I had imagined her smile, that wide, dimpled grin she used to flash when she ran into my arms, all curls and innocence. But as I entered the living room, with its polished floors and smell of vanilla-scented candles, it hit me, the distance. Not just the physical kind. No, this was deeper, like a fault line that had formed in silence over years. And standing at the center of the room, in a glittery pink dress and high heels that looked far too grown-up for a 12-year-old, was my granddaughter, Lily. She turned when she saw me, her friends quieting behind her. I forced a smile. "Happy birthday, sweetheart." She walked over, poised and rehearsed, like someone used to being watched. "Grandma Ruth," she said, giving me a hug that barely grazed my shoulder. "You're late." "I know," I replied, handing her the box. "But I brought something special." She looked at it, almost bored, then untied the ribbon with slow, deliberate fingers. The room was quiet, too quiet. I heard the soft whisper of the velvet opening, then saw the flicker of her expression, the slight curl of her lip. She pulled the necklace from the box, a delicate silver chain with a teardrop-shaped moonstone pendant. Modest, yes, but timeless and far from cheap. Her face twisted. "Is this it?" I swallowed. "It belonged to your great-grandmother, my mother. She gave it to me when I turned 12. Lily snorted. "It looks like something from a gas station." She dropped the necklace back in the box. "Sorry, Grandma, but this is just cheap junk." My heart cracked, not broke, but cracked. A silent kind of break. The kind that doesn't bleed, but never really heals. The room murmured, and I caught the glance her mother, my daughter-in-law Emily, threw me. It wasn't pity. It was something colder, almost smug. "I see," I whispered. "Well, I just thought you'd want something from the women who came before you." She turned away. "I'll show the others the stuff from Dad. He got me an Apple Watch." Of course he did. I didn't say anything else. I didn't cry. I didn't plead or scold. I simply walked back out the door, the ribbon trailing behind me in the wind. And that's when the seed of it was planted. Not revenge, not really, but something adjacent, quieter, sharper. I wouldn't yell. I wouldn't punish. I'd simply let time do its work. Silent revenge isn't about hurting someone back. It's about teaching them, without words, what they failed to see. That kind of lesson cuts the deepest. I took the necklace home. Back when I was 12, my mother gave me that same moonstone necklace on my birthday. I'd cried when I opened it, not because I didn't like it, but because I knew even then it meant something. She'd saved up for months, worked double shifts at the diner. That necklace was her history, her sacrifice, her pride. I wore it through high school, college, even on my wedding day. It had been with me when my husband James passed, clutched in my palm as I held his hand one last time. And Lily, well, Lily had never been told any of that. Maybe that was my mistake. But in truth, the fracture between us didn't start that day. It started years earlier, when my son married Emily, a woman with champagne tastes and a tongue sharp as vinegar. She never liked me, thought I was quaint, which is just a polite way of saying outdated. She moved my son 2 states away, enrolled Lily in private academies, told me to text before visiting. It was always Grandma Ruth is sweet, but let's not overdo it with the nostalgia. My son stopped calling as often. Lily's visits shortened, and each birthday or holiday, my handmade gifts, my letters, my stories, all got outshined by the latest trend or tech. I didn't mind the fading attention, but when she called my necklace cheap junk, it hit me she didn't just forget me. She never really knew me at all. So I started writing, not out of spite, but out of need. I filled a notebook with memories, recipes, advice, photos. I included the story of the necklace, how my mother got it from her mother before her, how it survived a fire, a divorce, a war. I called the journal Asterisk for when you're ready asterisk, and placed it in my dresser next to the necklace. But I didn't stop there. I began collecting carefully, quietly, family heirlooms, letters, photos, old recordings. I reached out to distant relatives, tracked down my father's war medals, my grandfather's pocket watch. All of it went into a cedar chest at the foot of my bed. It wasn't about guilt, tripping. It was about preservation. And one day maybe when I was gone they would open that chest, read that journal, hold that necklace and understand. Years passed. The necklace remained in my drawer. Lily visited less. Puberty came and went, and with it her childhood. She became a young woman, too fast and too loud, like most do these days. College followed, and with it, independence. I watched her life unfold from a distance, photos on social media, stories secondhand. She was smart, beautiful, capable, but also restless, always searching. I saw it in her eyes. Then, one night, just before her 24th birthday, she called me. I was making tea when the phone rang. I nearly didn't answer. Grandma. Her voice was tight. Yes, sweetheart. There was silence. Then a breath. Can I come over? She arrived in the rain. Same porch, same steps. Only this time she was soaked, trembling, and alone. Her mascara was smudged, her eyes red. I broke up with him. She said, stepping inside. He said I wasn't enough, that I didn't feel enough. I led her to the couch, wrapped her in a blanket. She didn't speak for a long time, just sat there, staring at the flickering fireplace. I found an old photo of you and Grandpa. She said finally, "You were dancing in the kitchen." I smiled. We did that a lot. You looked too full, like you had enough just being together. I touched her hand. He was my anchor, and I was his. She nodded, eyes glassy. I don't think I know what love really looks like. You will, I said softly. She hesitated. That necklace you gave me, do you still have it? I didn't answer. I stood, walked to the bedroom, and returned with the velvet box. She opened it slowly, as if she were holding something sacred. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded. I know. She put it on, the chain catching in her curls. Then she held the moonstone between her fingers and let the silence hold us both. That was 2 years ago. Lily now visits every month. She helps me tend the garden, scans old photos, records my stories. The necklace never leaves her neck. She calls it her compass, and she tells everyone who asks that it came from a long line of strong, complicated women. I never scolded her, never said I told you so. Silent revenge, you see, isn't about vengeance. It's about letting life and love do the teaching. Letting time ripen the lesson until it's ready to be learned. And the truth is, Some things grow best in silence. Like roots, like wisdom, like forgiveness. If you're listening to this, maybe you're holding something that someone once called cheap. Maybe your heart is still bruised by someone who didn't understand the weight of your gift. Hold on to it. Don't shout, don't chase, just wait. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's being remembered, not for what you gave, but for what you meant. And that, my dear, is priceless.